You're listening to the Bahá'í World News Service.
Now live local house of worship.
Naglilingkod kay Baha'i. During several gatherings at the Bahá'í World Center, groups of participants joined in conversations that were recorded by the Bahá'í World News Service for a series of podcasts on advances in Bahá'í efforts to foster peaceful societies. In this episode, we hear from Orlando Ravelo Hernández, member of the Board of Counsellors in Europe.
You can see how when you put coherent, when you put service in the center, suddenly the human nature comes to life.
And Alejandro Sarmiento González, member of the Auxiliary Board in Canary Islands.
Everything big comes from first small steps. This is why we need so much the contribution of everybody.
About how Baha'i moral and spiritual educational programs in that region are enabling young people to discover a deeper purpose in life, develop meaningful friendships, overcome apathy, and find coherence between their beliefs and actions in order to contribute to the transformation of their communities. From the Bahá'í World News Service, this is In Conversation, a podcast series that explores experiences from Baha'i efforts to contribute to social progress, from the grassroots to the international level.
I was just thinking like how different is the picture sometimes when we reflect about youth. So even society shares about youth and the picture that is behind us is like they're really struggling. And they don't know what's like the right path or even what it means to have a coherent life. But on the other hand, we are seeing a complete different picture about what really society is trying to make us believe. No? That they are lost, that they don't find the path. So I feel it's really great, no? That we also could share a little bit our experience, because you can feel how different it is in at least what we are living in Gran Canaria cluster. No?
Yeah, it's amazing. No? And I think, I don't know, I was just asking myself, what makes them to find a purpose in life, no? Because one very outstanding thing that we have realized is that basically they are not lost. They're like looking for meaning, and we saw, no, that when they find a purpose in life, then everything changes. Even their behavior, the way of talking, the way how they relate to each other. It's just everything is in, but the society is not giving chance. No, there is a lot of pressure. There is a lot of circumstances that are not allowing them to show their potential. So with a certain environment, with a certain kind of conversation, immediately you see how naturally this emerged from them. No?
I was thinking how the community really trusts them and believe in them. No? That this is like one spiritual condition from progress to happen and also from change to happen. No? So we have so many examples of transformation because the community believe it's possible and they believe it's also possible. And when they find the purpose that you were also sharing, how it's multiplied their capacities. No? So, yeah, I was really also thinking how we have some example, no, of youth that really don't know what to do with their life, but what impact it have, for example, when they start to serve younger generation, or they find a way in which they can really contribute to the betterment of the world.
Yeah. I remember, for example, this boy that was part of your junior youth group,
Of course.
and how he had such a transformation that inspired the whole family, no? So
yeah, it's the story of Kevin. I feel is amazing because it's this example of how we as community we need to support each other. So one of the biggest challenge in society right now is loneliness. No? So sometimes you feel lonely and you don't find where you can really actually contribute. So with the mother of Kevin, we were having this conversation, and she really want his kid to really have friends, to really don't be all the time in the house. Also there's this so much challenges with social media and also with games and all this stuff that keep us with our mind in other places. So I remember just sharing with her, you are part of this community building process that we are doing, and there's a place where the youth can also contribute. So why don't you bring him? And let's see how does it felt in this situation. And it was incredible, the transformation, where he find a place to be himself, not to be judged, but also actually to contribute.
Yeah.
And also now this youth is now starting a junior youth group. No? So now he's trying really to think how he can become a good reference for the younger generation.
I think also it's like all of us are searching for meaning, no, in life. So also because sometimes this intergenerational conflict that exists, no, that we feel that the youth are lost, but I feel that humanity is in a way searching for something, no. So the youth are part of our society. So also we have also many examples on how youth and adults can relate to each other and they can collaborate. So I don't know. I remember, for example, one day we were exploring together this idea of how we can learn about what is in their hearts, because we felt that if we want to connect with youth and we want to empower youth and them to be part of a change, it's very important also to listen to them and to see what are their aspirations, because they have a lot. And I remember this conversation we had, and we were asking not only about their aspiration, but also if we want to connect, also we want to search for our own aspirations. And then we realized that you love football, and we said, but actually you love football, and they also love football or love sports, and all this project that came after, no, speaking with them, reflecting about what are the conditions of society. You can do a sport just to enjoy and just to be healthy, but also even in sports you can find a meaning, you can find a way. So this whole idea about coherence, that everything you do in your life, if you give purpose, it can be illuminating. It can help us to shape a new humanity.
Yes, absolutely. Now it's like they're finding that to live a coherent life is that what you think, what you believe, what you say, and what you do is the same. And I was remember this project of football. They wanted to play football, but they also don't want it to play football in a way that generates violence. Because sometimes when things get too competitive, it's easy that this generates violence, and it generates an environment that is not supportive.
And remember, it was like a crazy idea, no? Like,
yes.
How are we going to play football without competition? How it's possible to collaborate, for example, no? And it was amazing to find different ways. And you changed the game, and it was still funny for them. And
yes. It was very interesting because also in our society, sport is something that is important, no? Because of their health, but also of their mental health, and also about all the values that you can develop. But you develop these values if there's some principles behind.
Of course.
No, I remember this example of these 4 friends that wanted to start this football club. They were 4. We say, okay, let's go to train, to find a place to train 2 times a week. And in less than a month, it were more than 30.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of youth with the same reality, asking the same question. How we play the game, but also in a way that is encouraging and is supporting others, no?
Yeah, and they felt empowered not only to play the game, but also to see, okay, this is an opportunity to have a community day. So they were having time together, the families came, the families were super happy, even the fathers came, that sometimes to find the fathers is more challenging.
Yes.
So all the family was united, and I don't know, it was such you can see how when you put coherence, no? When you put service in the center, when you put certain relationship and values at the center, suddenly the human nature comes to life. No? So that really we are made to be united, to share, to have reciprocity, to hear each other. So it was an amazing example, no? How with a very simple step, how naturally this emerged.
Todos los que estamos aquí estamos unidos por muchas cosas.
All of us here are united by many things. We all have hearts filled with dreams, aspirations, and a desire to progress and create a better world. That is why, from this moment on, we commit ourselves to promoting a game built on values, a game that stands for peace. May football become a tool capable of bringing people together, of uniting generations in something much more important than winning or losing.
It was also amazing to see how they were able to think about project of service within the club, like the football club. Like you think, how is this possible? That youth that are playing football, they find a way to put service also and to serve the community. And it was amazing how they realized that they could do different types of match that were friendly match, but that always there was a purpose behind. So I remember that one of these matches was collecting funds for a different types of organization. So they really felt also that this was something good they were doing, and then also they received the gratitude of the community.
They were reading reality, they identify a need, and they say, okay, maybe we can provide some funds. Or in other cases, it was food for the food bank of the city. And also, you remember a member of the local government came also to see, because he said, I didn't trust that it was true, that really you're going to do a football match and it will be constructive and there is no competition. So he came to see, is that real? Is that possible? And at the end of the match, he was like shocked. He was saying like, I want more of this in the city. And really, I don't know how also you saw all the segments of society, in one project, and that they were running it, the youth themselves were running everything. You saw the institutions of society with this member of the local government, but also you saw the families with them, and also the children. It's full of kids around, and they have now this model of being a youth. And they're learning that we can also build a different way of relationship. It's such a small example, but that gives us a lot of hope that when you place Coherent in the center, then everything starts to change and to be transformed.
You see, this develops all of these opportunities, so many capacities that the society needs, this capacity. Like, for example, you were sharing about this reading of reality. It was amazing how they start to read the reality, not only of themselves, but of the neighbor. So they also start to think, okay, so what the neighbors needs. And they saw there were immigrants coming, and they put in the place of an immigrant coming and said, we want them to feel welcome. So let's play with them. And we invite all of this, a big group of immigrants that they had the football match together. And it was so different because before the football match started, they start to know each other. They do different dynamics. They start to meet. And then when they see them in the street now,
they're friends.
They're friends. So how this simple project of service change dynamics, because sometimes we think that dynamics are only changed in the institutional level, that this is who have the power to change. But really the power
in the hands of people.
Is in the hands of people.
Of course.
And it's for us how we learn how to have this relationship that the institutions, the individuals, but also the community feels empowered, and we are empower each other.
There are many kind of youth. You have youth that they have leadership already, and they are more ready, but also you have youth that are very shy, and there are many cases of youth that are getting isolated in our society, like probably because they are purposeless, probably because they are not finding their place, or they are full of talent and they don't know where to focus it.
Sometimes they don't know even how to interact with each other, So also generating just spaces for them to interact, it's also like very valuable.
Yeah. So I remember this young girl that because with this initiative is so inspiring, because how far we have gone now with this. Because one day she appeared with a small plant in the community center.
It's true.
And
I remember.
And it's a plant where the butterflies grow their child, there. I said, she never used to speak about anything she is interested about, but she arrived with the plant, and everyone was, what are you doing with this plant here? I said, these butterflies are in danger of extinction. And if they only can take food from this plant, if not, they will die. So we need to plant more of these plants. So it was amazing how some animators listened to her, and for the first time they saw she have a motivation, and they started a project to grow these plants. And then it was beautiful, no? Because also butterflies have a meaning of transformation, so it gives a lot of meaning.
Yes.
But through this very small example, she started to feel empowered, and we discovered she's very worried about nature. And then she started sharing with a junior youth group, there is our ecosystem is in danger also because there is a invasive species, invasive plant that is taking over in the ravine that we have close by. And then we started to investigate. And we started to say, what is she saying? Is that true? We don't see any problem. And then we went with her to the ravine. We went with the junior youth group. The junior youth started to share the same feeling, that, probably this is dangerous also. And I saw how powerful it is when you rely on knowledge and then you put in practice, and then you have service, and you use this knowledge not just for yourself but also to give a contribution. So then you start to see a healthy relationship with knowledge that is not a source of power but is a source of inspiration to act and something that you want to share. So I feel that this is because also we are learning about this, what is the role of science and religion together. That really we are developing our spiritual qualities, and we are having all these programs to grow spiritually and to take our talents to serve humanity. But at the same time, we need also to take of the body of knowledge of the humanity. And this combination is super powerful. No? Now, out of this conversation that we are very informed from a very small feeling inside the heart of one youth, now we have a full project under an organization to really recover this ecosystem. And you have now hundreds of youth going there to take off the invasive plant and to plant the native plants. And we now already have some portions without the invasive plant. So you can see how powerful, and that you can imagine it's very big, to really think on a big environmental project, and how this emerged from someone's
from a small step. No, everything big comes from first small steps. This is why we need so much the contribution of everybody. I was thinking also that there was this strong force that is apathy.
Yeah.
So and it's a strong force that is affecting all of us.
Yeah.
No, and it's generate this sense of individualism, this sense of materialism, love for the stuff, the things we have, and not focus on what we are actually building in ourselves.
Yeah.
Like not only the youth,
For sure.
and it's taking us what we have. This spiritual energy, is this soul to be able to do things and to actually make changes.
Yeah.
That I'm seeing like this new generation also, how it's developing this new habit of thoughts, when they're also like very aware about the forces of society that is around them, but they're not only aware about that, they're also aware how they can fight that back.
Yeah.
And what principle they have to put behind to be able to overcome that forces of society. But this is not possible if you don't see them, if you don't realize it's affecting you.
Yeah. It's very interesting because also this is what you have shared about apathy. I was thinking that apathy is not a condition of the human being. It's a consequence of forgetting who we are in reality. Because when we lose focus of our real identity, then we start feeling apathy. It's like it's a symptom, but it's not our nature. Because you see that how easily motivation emerges when you look for sources, deep sources of motivation. That how everyone is attracted to beauty, for example. When there is beauty around, motivation emerges. It's impossible to have apathy towards beauty. So there is beauty in the material world, of course, in nature, in many things around us, but also there is a lot of beauty in the relationship that we're building. Or when you see someone progressing, when you see a community that is supportive, all this also create an atmosphere that is full of beauty. And also we are thirsty for knowledge. So all minds are searching. it's a condition of human being because we have a mind that it's also looking for answers to the question. So also, if we allow time and space for people to reflect, to look for information, to investigate, all this is, I feel it. We have been
Yes.
many times looking this reality, finding that how they can overcome this apathy when you put certain conditions and you call on these deeper sources of motivation, that really move them.
I was thinking now you were talking about identity, what's the true identity, that apathy is not part of who we are.
I feel that what happened is that we are growing in a so materialistic environment in general in society that nobody is remembering us that we are also spiritual beings. But it's amazing how it is supposed that if you have a spiritual orientation, or if you are interested in religion, then you are not so intelligent, you're not so modern. This is for all people. So these are all the prevalent ideas that are in generality of the society. But then you realize that when you overcome this prejudice and just you go farther than that and you say, okay, we are material. Of course, we are human beings and we have a body, we have needs that we need to fulfill. That's all fine with this. But also, don't you see that there is something else? Don't you feel that we feel a connection with each other? Don't you feel, what name you will put to that? And they start to say, okay, maybe there is a soul.
Yeah.
And we explore this idea and then, okay, if you have a body and you need to feed it to make it grow, what happened with your soul if you don't feed your soul? And then realize, and how can I feed that? And then it's a so clear conversation also that it makes a lot of sense for them and how receptive they are. Not only so to find ways to also feed their soul, and they learn that through service they will grow also in their talents and spiritual qualities and capacities, and then even through prayer. So how prayer have become relevant for them, that they are not used to at home, but then to prepare themselves for a period of service or to overcome an obstacle in life, how they find inspiration also in relaxing and feeling the moment and just try to connect with God.
Yeah. And I feel youth are in an incredible position also to overcome prejudice.
So this is a huge contribution of the youth. No?
Huge, yeah. They are all pushing society
And
questioning society, and this is so important from progress.
Yeah.
So to see that also, it gives us a lot of hope, no?
Yeah.
I remember this idea of searching for excellence, how it's being so important for the youth to understand what it means excellent, that is not to be perfect, but to really try to do your best. To strive for excellence, and also this wider vision of excellence, because sometimes we think about excellence only in one aspect of our life. So maybe studies, or maybe the relationship with our friends, or maybe our work. But how to strive for excellence is something that is not divided, because we are one.
Yeah.
So how we try our best to serve the community, to serve our parents, to also to fulfill our education.
Yeah.
No, all of these things, how they are connected, I think is also like have a powerful impact in the youth.
We were also talking about attraction to beauty, and I feel that this is why the arts are so powerful, no? Because they are a source of beauty, and it comes from our soul is trying to communicate. No, it's a powerful language to connect hearts, and I don't know, it's so powerful. And I was remembering how it was a process also, no? Because when they start to raise consciousness, they start to identify the forces of society that are surrounding them. No, because I feel this is very powerful, that really the problem with you don't realize that the forces are there. So to raise consciousness is so important, no? So when they start to raise their consciousness and they start to be aware of, these forces are affecting us, then they start to recognize and to recognize the language also of the forces, and they are ready to fight against this injustice, because it's injustice, it's oppression also. Our society have many ways to oppress us. So, for example, with music, it happened a lot. What kind of content is in the lyrics of the music that they are listening, even when they are children? They grow up with a very explicit lyrics, a very weird vision about what a human being is, no? So they started to realize, they started to listen to the lyrics, and they reflected with the animators also, with other friends, and they started to say, what can we do? Because this is so powerful, this is all time you go to wherever on the street and you're listening to this. And then they say, okay, we can't maybe now do anything against this, but we can build something different, at least to have an alternative. And I remember first time they sat down and they started reflecting, can we create a song? Just an alternative kind of content. And it was so nice to see how they started writing lyrics. And then some friend that had a bit of knowledge on music, then they put together the music and the lyrics, and how far this have gone through, no? Like really from a small group of people reflecting about how a force of society is affecting them, to then as a question, can we do something? Then they create the lyrics, they put the music, they did very well, and many youth like it, and it started reinforcing their identity.
Absolutely.
And we saw how the powers of art can be used in the opposite direction to move positive forces, not only the negative ones. And I see that now we have like a lot of
now we even
content.
have two discs in Spotify that everybody
can listen.
Can listen, ¿no?
Ahora sé, yo veo todo diferente. Encontré ese camino en mi mente.
And also, I was thinking that the impact in the community also, like, it's not only these songs that were created by the youth, it's not only for the youth, like, all generations are singing this song when they gather together, like in family camps or... No, so
they walk on the street singing this, huh?
Yes.
So you see how these have taken the place in their mind. And also, I always shocked when you see a small glimmering of something in the mind of a youth, and then when the environment and the community support, how this can grow big. No? So, for example, every year we have 3-4 concerts with 300, 400 people listening to the song. They can perform and they can feel the power that we're building a different community. And you can see the vibrancy of this concert. It's not a normal one. It's not that you're sitting to see an artist.
Yes.
It's the community supporting their youth together. And when it ends, it's a celebration. Everyone going on the stage and they're dancing, and again, all the generations. So it's the same spirit, so different examples. No? So
absolutely.
It doesn't matter the shape that the project take. It's more about the conditions that we are.
It's about the principle, no? That we are talking about. This is very shocking how you share that this is really a community, and you can see the community. So it's not also the one that knows how to sing, that is all the time in stage, but this a lot of people singing these songs, because these songs belongs to everybody, no? Yeah. So also this is like very powerful.
Yes, and this connects also with all this idea of the social media, no? How we relate with this, because I feel we need to, because maybe we are other generation, but we need to accept that this generation have social media is so important and so relevant, and it's part of life, no? So yes. We can't be.
Also, how they can use it in a
constructive
way. A constructive way, because also when you are seeing a lot of time the same things, you start to think about that. If you are thinking about that, is what you are also talking. No? Yeah. So this is very powerful what you see. If you are all the time, but this we can see in a non-constructive way, or either in a constructive way, no? Yeah. So how we are not afraid of the tool, but really learning how to use the tool into a positive way. And I think we have also some good example, no, of some of the youth using the social media to share what they are doing in service, and the influence of the music to invite others, no?
To also shape a narrative, because I feel that something that we are lacking in society is that we don't have examples of what a community is. no? Because I think there are three actors in a society, no? You have the individuals, that it's clear who this is each one of us. Then you have the institutions that are very important also to support all this process. But then there is the community that is a common space, and I feel that we have lost this sense of community.
In the past, it was.
Yeah, but we have lost it in some way, and now through all these examples, we're seeing a new creation, a new kind of community coming to life.
And I was thinking with this of the community also, how strong is the sense of mission of this youth?
Yeah,
No, that they also have this mission to extend the influence to others.
Yeah.
So they are not, because it's easy when you find a group of friends, and when it's this environment that we are describing, to be happy just together, no? And just to stay together. But they really have this sense of mission, that this is a refuge that we are creating. So how we extend this and we invite others. So really they are also thinking very creatively, and it's absolutely in their hands how they can extend this influence of this community we are trying to build to every youth.
yeah,
No? So I remember this, even last year we had this youth conference where in Gran Canaria, when more than 400 youth came,
yeah.
and it was organized by them, by the youth, and they
It was
invite all the
first time we had like 40
Yeah.
facilitators, no, running everything.
running everything, and with so much clarity about what they wanted to share. And one of the things that it was part of the content that they also wanted to share was this meaning of friendship, no?
Yeah.
Like friendship is very important. To be together is very important. I remember when we were also young, this that I get 2 buses to go to your home.
Yeah,
To every weekend, it was more than almost 3 hours to go.
Yeah.
But it was so important friendship that for me it was fine,
Yeah.
no, to do all this.
And your mom didn't understand
Yeah, I
what
mean,
was happening.
I didn't like all this long trip, but for them it's so important. So also to create these spaces for them to be together, like for example these camps that we are having, we're inviting them to be together with this environment. Is also an opportunity that we give them to be together, but also to reflect, that they are giving each other to reflect about what is true friendship.
Yeah,
Because sometimes friendship is like a transaction, no?
Yeah.
Like you give me, I give you, and if you don't give me, we are no longer friends.
yeah,
But what's the real meaning, the profound meaning of being a true friend?
yeah, yeah. And this concept of friends is so important also, no? For all of us. I feel we're talking about community, but at the end, a community is also a network of friendships that are all connected. So it's very important that, because maybe this friendship, this relation are like bricks in the community. And it's very important what is behind this idea of friendship. I see that we have grown a lot as we are growing in our life. We listen a lot that you need to make good choices, to choose very well your friend. And I feel that in one way this can be helpful, but in another way, if we are choosing people, then we're separating people also. So I feel that the idea that we are exploring with the youth is how we can see everyone in the community as a friend. Not that really we are not just selecting the most popular or the one that I can have more advantage of, but really, can you see everyone as a potential friend, and how it would look like if everyone is your friend, how you will relate with them. And also to see, we can build friendship that have meaning and have a positive impact, not only on us, but also in others around us. So I feel this idea of putting service at the center is so relevant for a friendship, that really is not only about you and me, it's also about what we can build together for others. And this release a lot of power.
Yeah, because this idea of build together is what you build together, and it have a impact in the society, but also in you. No, like I remember some friends that have shared, that they were struggling even with mental health issues, and when they start not to focus so much on themselves, but to focus
to
support others, it completely changed their reality.
Yeah.
So also this idea of how friendship takes the best of you. No, this is like true friendship. Like we are supporting to be the best we can,
Best version.
the best version of ourselves. No, we do this with love, not judging each other. No, like there's also a lot of principles behind that we are trying to apply. And it's a path that we are gonna walk. No, the life is a path we are walking, but it's so much wonderful when we walk it with people we love. No? When we walk it together, it's so much easier. Also, I feel there's this vision that individual life is easier because relationships sometimes can go well, sometimes can go wrong, but really community life, it's much more practical even. Yeah. Even in practical day-to-day stuff. If you have someone that can support you, your life is gonna get easier. No? So even at that level, how important is the community and how important is this community that the youth are trying to build and are extending the invitation to everybody. Yeah.
You've been listening to In Conversation, a podcast series from the Bahá'í World News Service. For more podcasts and stories, visit news.bahai.org.